Today we're taking a look at the RCA amplified indoor antenna. This is a multi-directional antenna, so it's in theory where you put it won't matter, though putting it on the side of your home with most of the transmitters on that side does help. This used to be a Turk branded antenna. Turk is owned by RCA, and a lot of those antennas being rebranded as RCA antennas. And so I've been getting a lot of requests for this. It's sold on Amazon at places like Walmart if you just want to walk in and buy it. I will put a link to it down in the show so you can see the Amazon listing and make sure you're getting actually this antenna. Often, YouTube puts a row of products underneath these videos are not always the actual product I'm showing you. So just keep that in mind. If you want this antenna, in the show notes down below. This is advertised as a 60-mile antenna, and it actually is a very good indoor 60-mile antenna. I would put this in the top half of indoor antennas in that price range, in that mileage range. There are a few things I don't like about it, but reception was not one of them. It picked up all the channels I expected, all the channels I get with other similarly priced indoor antennas. One thing I don't like is the amplifier is built in, which is not really a bad deal. It's a good amplifier here. It does offer the ability to bypass it. It's a dual amplifier here, so it has a little bit more than your basic cheap amplifier to do with getting you a better signal. You can bypass it, turn it off. You can do the preamp, and you can do the dual amplification on it. All three settings I found work very well. It's probably one of the better indoor amplifiers on the market in this price range right now that comes built in or comes bundled with an antenna. The thing I don't like though is the final cable. Everything is permanently attached. I kind of wish maybe the amplifier was connected and there was just a coaxial plug where I could plug in a longer antenna. If you have an issue where this antenna is not the cord's not long enough for where you want to put it, you have to get an extender and do all kinds of things that I wish it would just offer the ability to have a second cable I could connect to the amplifier from there, go on. It does have a wall plug built in. It's no USB. A lot of these now power off USB on your TV so that when your TV is not on, the antenna is not pulling power. You know, that's kind of not a big deal. I know a lot of people prefer it plugged in the wall. You get a little bit more power and a little bit more performance. It is kind of a greenish color, a little blue band, bluish greenish, depending I guess who you are, at the bottom that lights up when it's plugged in. Overall, I kind of like the direction this antenna goes. I like the fact that it's well priced. It looks nice. When I set this next to my TV in our living room when we were testing this out, it looked like it fit right next to our TV. You know, the TV's got the black look. This has got a nice black look. It looks modern, looks sleek. It's no ugly bunny ears sitting next to a brand new expensive TV. Past that, I really don't have anything negative to say other than the cable is permanently connected. It would be cool if we could disconnect that. Reception's good. This is meant to stand on a table. It's not really designed to mount or on a wall at all. It does have this rubbery on here so it doesn't slide around. If you bump it, it's not going to go flying off your end table or wherever you have it. And it looks good. So just keep that in mind. You will need some table space to set this on. You're not going to be mounting this on the wall. There are plenty of antennas out there that are sold for the purpose of it hanging on a wall. But let's get into testing out. So construction, 2 thumbs up. It's plastic, but it looks sharp. There's a little bit of etching on it. That gives it kind of a little bit of character. There is an RCA brand on it, but it's not overly aggressive. And if you're not really looking at it, you're not noticing that. So let's plug this in. Let's test this out, show you it in action. Well, I've been playing around with the antenna for a little while now, and I've been impressed, but at the same time, some of the limitations I talked about earlier definitely came into focus with this antenna. First though, disclaimer. I always hate doing these where I show you it in action because people say, hey, when you showed me the video, you showed ABC or Fox or whatever working, and when I plugged in my antenna, I didn't get that. Well, antenna is really based on where you live for them to work. I have great ABC Fox signal here. NBC is a little weaker. With an outdoor antenna, no problem. If I could place this antenna in the perfect spot, I could easily get NBC. So it depends on where you live, on what stations you're going to get. So keep that in mind. But with that said, let me talk about in use so hopefully you can get some better ideas of what's to expect from this antenna. A couple of the downsides of the antenna. Like I talked about earlier, there is a light at the bottom of the antenna that's always on. Haven't figured out how to turn that off. I don't think you can. So if you're going to be annoyed by a green ring around your antenna in your home, that could be a killer for this antenna. 2, the permanently attached cable isn't quite long enough for where my office is or my review lab is to put the antenna in the ideal location. Usually I like to put it over here on a review table where I do the unboxing. then run a long cable over the TV. Well, without going to buy another adapter to be able to have an extender for a coaxial cable, I wasn't able to do that. So with the device as it's sold, I had to put it on the floor here because this TV is mounted on the wall with no tables immediately around it. So keep that in mind. Now I have to look at the cable dangling down, the amplifier is just dangling halfway down my wall, and it looks kind of ugly. With that said though, it's still surprisingly doing a good job of picking up the signal. This antenna is not in an ideal location, but is picking up signals like I would expect it to. You can see very strong signals here, and the selection of channels I would expect to get with an antenna like this in a non-ideal location. But if I had a longer cable, I could pick up Fox and NBC here, but because the cable it's stuck on the floor in a bad location, that's why I'm not. So, would I recommend this antenna? Yes, I think this is a good antenna. Keep in mind, for the price point and the 60-mile range, it's what I would expect it to be. But with permanently attached antenna, with the green light on the bottom of the antenna, those are slight deal killers for me. They may not be for you, but for me, I think some people would not enjoy having to look at that at all times next to their TV. So, questions, comments, let me know. I would recommend this antenna. If you want something that looks nice sitting next to your TV sits on a dresser, sits on a table, you could easily put the antenna there. Awesome. If that look and feel of it matches what you're doing in your home, awesome. This is a good antenna at a good price point. So, link in the show notes if you want to learn more. Leave me a question. I'll post a full review of this over at corecarsnews.com. Hit that thumbs up, hit that subscribe button. It would really help us. And hopefully we helped you make a purchase decision. Hopefully this helped you decide if this is the right antenna for you or not. Thanks for watching. We really appreciate your support.